current data interoperability standards between major tech companies, both domestically and internationally, needs to shift. We need to imagine planet Earth as one organism where tech companies and governments need high levels of efficient intercellular communication in order to procure the insights in a harmonized way that mimics the genius of biological symbiosis. Evolution of consciousness. Whatever perfection the collective seeks can come only by the perfection of the individuals who constitute it. Sri Aurobindo. The unfolding of consciousness. Jean Gebser. We too frequently talk about where individuals rank in the wealth hierarchy without mentioning where they rank in the enlightenment hierarchy. This is a bold call-out of the most powerful people on the planet to be the first to have their biometric correlates of awakening analyzed. Many of our most upstream problems may simply be egoic consciousness in leadership. There is a lot of power concentrated in the hands of a couple thousand world leaders who have little incentive to inclusively stakehold the rest of humanity as we enter the AI age. These are the same world leaders who need to be held paramountly responsible for the execution of the SDGs and the sustainable next generation architectures. Take the enlightened sages of the planet. Say people that teach the planetary mystic traditions. Then catalog their biometric correlates into the highest meta pattern so we have a directional reference for how to nudge people. We already know, thanks to the work of myriad scientists like Claire Graves, Don Beck, Chris Cowan, Ken Wilber, Jean Piaget, Lawrence Kohlberg, Jean Gebser, James Fowler, Eric Erickson, Sri Aurobindo, and Mira Alfassa, that generally stages of consciousness development go ego, social, ethno, world, transpersonal, and non-dual. As Rupert Spira says, everyone deserves imperturbable peace and causeless joy. And as Sri Aurobindo says, we need to anchor these spiritual awakenings in the knot of life. Chapter 7. The Sorting Algorithm. The world henceforth will be run by synthesizers, people able to put together the right information at the right time, think critically about it, and make important choices wisely. E.O. Wilson. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomenon, it will make more progress in 1 decade than all the previous centuries of its existence. Nikola Tesla. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Separate the wheat from the chaff. The two fields that have most profoundly advanced civilization over the last millennia are science and spirituality. Their good codes need to be amplified and their bad codes need to be archived, followed by a synthesis of the two into one. Examples of good codes that need to be kept are the scientific method and Mircea Eliade's hierophany, which are manifestations of the sacred. Examples of bad codes that need to be archived include perverse incentives, dogmas, and fundamentalism. Science must help spirituality validate higher levels of consciousness, and spirituality must help keep science morally and ethically on track to prevent catastrophic malevolences like what happened with the proliferation of thousands of nuclear weapons the last 75 years. Other babies to synthesize and drain the bathwater: indigeneity and modernity. Eastern and Western wisdoms. USA conservatives and liberals. USA and China. Silicon Valley and Hollywood. Synthesize the indigenous seventh generation principle with applied science to create a more harmonic and balanced engine pulling humanity forward. Synthesize the USA conservative focus on the individual stepping up with the USA liberal focus to augment the social fabric to enable gift actualization. Chapter 8: The Magic Trick. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. Alan Watts. I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are mere details. Albert Einstein.